Hello to everyone. My name is Domizia Tallone, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a science communicator, but at the moment I lead guided tours to the Astronomical Museum of Rome in Monte Mario and Monte Porzio Catone. I'm also a transfeminist environmental activist. However, I'm still in a situation of economic insecurity, so I still work at my brother's bakery. So, the literature available in the United States and Europe describe science communication as a feminized profession. This means that women are a majority in this field, but this also means that science communication is not valued as it should be. Women now make up the majority of science communicators, but this numerical dominance does not necessarily translate into social or institutional recognition. Women are still mostly found in background or support roles, while visibility and authority in public science communication is male dominated. So, in scientific institutions, we find good female representation among press officers or staff communication staff. But the glass ceiling persists in scientific research. So we can say that science communication is a care work and research support. For my research, I did several interviews to science communicators, and also I did a meta-analysis on some data available from Sister University. This data, are about graduated people from the Science Communication Master at SISA University. What I found is that the presence of women is in this data, in this sample, is around 57 and 66%, and increasing over time. So we find that women are a majority in science communication also in Italy. But that field lacks social and economic recognition. And this lack of recognition is present even within a scientific community itself. That seems that science communication is what you do when you cannot do science. Yeah. At the same time, there is another question about science communication. There is a double threshold of access to the profession. The profession is less paid than research and requires scientific education and strong soft skills. And this suggests that science communication may be hostile to some social and economic classes. So in this context, it would be necessary to expand this research and include other marginalized groups. Indeed, my work has several limitations. It focuses only on gender within a binary framework and does not consider other marginalization or other kind of marginalization. And yeah, as Rasi Koala, an English black or woman science communicator points out, while science communication has seen much more space for women over the last 20 years, this opening stops at white women. So I think there is still much work to be done, and this work will necessarily challenge science as an institution. I think that women can bring gender studies in science communication, and I hope also decolonial studies, because we really need this in Italy. And I think that women can bring also um, new perspectives to the way science is understood and practiced and narrated. First of all, I am a woman, and yeah, I have a master's degree in astrophysics and cosmology, and very fast I turned to science communication because I often feel uncomfortable when speaking about scientific research. Over time, however, my interest become in science communication become real and meaningful. Um, what I really like in science communication and sociology of science is that I can speak about science with more freedom. And I can also imagine a future in which the power that comes from scientific knowledge can be shared more equally. If I think about technological and scientific power, thinking about big tech, if they were more fairly shared, I believe the world would be a more peaceful, healthier, and also less polluted place. I, I can respond, I can answer only in my experience and in my context, that is Italy. The biggest internal challenge now for Italian feminism is to be truly intersectional. We still give too little space to racialized women, and we have to work more on decolonization. In Italy, we don't speak much of decolonization, and we have a past in it. So that's the internal challenge in the feminism. The external challenge is cultural, I think. I think we it's something about giving to men a reason, a movement, a motivation that brings them into this process. I think now they are out of this process sometimes, often. And this is a moment of great distraction. And while we as women have feminism, men, even those who embrace this struggle, do not have the same tools or energies for change themselves. I don't think that we as a women we have to give them this movement. I think it should be a men movement, not as a protagonist, of course. But yeah, I think they need it. And I think it's the same in science, no? Where there is an additional barrier to change. Science considers itself as positive, democratic institution driven by a love of knowledge. But this narrative is partial, situated, and biased. It's difficult to make scientists understand that meritocracy does not exist even within scientific institutions. And transfeminist ideas are still almost completely absent in the sciences. Scientists should, vabbè, in my humble opinion, scientists should read Don Haraway and more generally engage with more critical tools from the philosophy of science. Yeah, it's also this difficult to answer. It's hard to say. I think on one hand, it feels like things are changing very fast, but on the other, in Italy, rights such as the right to abortion, are at risk again. And it fills me with anger and frustration to have to keep fighting battles that we thought had already been won. Right now, I don't feel full of trust or hope, especially when I think about all the peoples who are still oppressed by the ongoing colonial forces. I will not feel in peace to the world with the world or confident. I don't feel, I mean, I will, cioè, aspetta, I don't feel in peace with the world and or confident about the future until Palestinian or Sudanese can feel the same. So I think maybe in 10 years we will more free in Italy, in Europe, and yeah, that's cool. But I don't think in 10 years Palestine will be free. And so the challenge may will be the same than now. So yeah, for now, I'm not full of hope or trust in the future. I don't like telling history through the identification of movements with individual leaders. So I believe that movements and the history of humanity are rarely told as collective stories. I don't like the narrative of genius or the protagonist. I think it's a traditional way of writing history, and traditional for me is also means male, white, individualistic way to tell a story. No? For this reason, I will name the association Donne e Scienza, that is an association of scientists and women born from the Union of University Collectives of Women and later transforming into a social network. And then I would say Rivolta Femminile. And then I think that Black American feminism, all that movement from 60s and 90s age is it's very important. Ma maybe regarding the question about the challenges in 10 years from now, I would say that for me it would be about being less angry. I hope to be less angry in 10 years. And then the other is that uh, thank you for this interview and for this moment.